Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Ships
good
at sea.
afternoon.
Ships at sea.
The ships at sea. Who used to say that?
I don't know.
Walter Winchell.
Walter Winchell. I was going to say
Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea.
Yep.
We go. Well, anyway, after that sort of dodgy lead in, it's good to have you back. We're glad to be here. And I've got a pile of things that I am really ticked off about. And Dwayne's got some things that are bothering him too, so this is going to be quite a session.
Yep.
However, let's start off on a sad note.
All right.
Last week, we lost a dear friend. Gordon Chitty passed away.
It was a shock to all of us.
And I had been down their house visiting with them on Friday, and he died on Saturday. And you know, I was thinking to myself, I'm Catholic, so we don't do eulogies in our church. But yet in many of the Protestant churches, they do utilize eulogies.
Well,
That's a mouthful.
some churches do, even Catholic churches.
Oh yeah, but that's discouraged.
Maybe not here.
The official line is it's discouraged.
Midwest, everybody had eulogies of some type.
Yeah, they may allow one family member to do it. Well, anyway, I was thinking to myself, now, if I were to eulogize Gordon, it would be the shortest eulogy in the history of man. Because I would say he was a decent man.
That he was.
And that says a lot.
Yeah. And what more can you say after that? And Gordon was. He was a very, very decent man. Intelligent man, very curious. If you mention something, he might go look it up and do a little research on it, that kind of thing, you know?
He had that engineer mentality.
He did,
'Cause
yeah.
He was an engineer. Yep.
And now, don't get me wrong. Maybe I'm misstating this. Maybe I just can't articulate my feelings, but I enjoy going to a funeral in this respect. It kind of takes me and keys me back on message that life is very frail. And, you know, we're here for a very, very short period of time, and we're charged with doing the best we can. And we have no idea when the button's going to be pushed and we're going to be called to the next level. So, folks, my words for you, my advice is go and do what you want to do.
That's right. Live for
Go
the
out
day.
and, yeah, now I'm not saying do wild and crazy and stupid things, but boy, oh boy, if you want to do something, go do it. Don't fret about it. I mean, if you want to go to South Dakota and see Mount Rushmore, do it.
Yep.
Or if you want to tape these shows and just watch them over and over and over, I encourage that too.
That's right.
I mean, but seriously, we're also charged to love one another. And sometimes that's a difficult task. But anyway, so much for that. And may Gordon rest in peace. And I am the richer for his friendship.
I think we all are.
Now,
All right. What's irritating you? A whole bunch.
the Boston Globe.
Oh, gee.
I canceled the Boston Globe, and weekly They vary the color too, which is clever. So we get the last 6 weeks, I've got 6 letters asking me to rethink my madness and call up and get the newspaper at a reduced charge. But unless you're going to change their editorial policy, I'm not going to do it.
They won't.
No.
They won't change that
So
policy.
I'm not going to call them and tell them to stop sending it. The hell with them. Just keep on sending them. I'll keep
That
on
thing
throwing
right
them
there
out.
that you got irritated me too, because I've been a subscriber since we lived here for 40 some years. And I'm paying $60 a month or something for those 7 days. 50 something it comes out of my billed right to my credit card. And I'm getting these things, and people that they're not giving me any break after all the years of loyalty, and I said, you fools, you're mailing it to a long-term customer and you're showing what you'll do. I said, hell, I'll start dropping the thing for 60, 90 days, whatever. Then I'll take the offer and I'll put it back. Because if you don't, they don't give you any break. They don't.
No. And you won't have missed anything either.
No.
It's infuriating. So anyway, we'll throw them out. That'll be a symbolic act here in a little while. And here's another thing that really gets me. Do not bend.
And there's just junk in there, garbage.
Do not bend. What am I going to hurt? This return address envelope?
Yep.
This stupid piece of paper that says act now? This dumb little special message from the editor? Sign up, you moron. That's what it says. Or this. The list of all the benefits I get in the preferred discount order form. Don't bend it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's what I think of that.
Or they'll put valuable gift enclosed.
Yeah.
You open it up. Hey, is it this little note, 2 pages of a notepad? Is this the valuable gift? Where is it? I still can't find it.
It drives me nuts.
Those are all just to get you to open the damn
That's
envelope.
right.
That's all it is.
Just don't throw me away.
Yep.
Open up. You may get something swelling there. Well, you don't.
Well, my complaint is that they're putting plastic inside of those now. So you can't just recycle it. You have to open
can't
it
tear it
in order
apart.
to take out the plastic membership card or whatever. So, and a lot of the flyers are no longer cardboard, they're plastic.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Those kind of things.
Well,
I come in through the garage, the garbage can is right there. I don't even open them. I see who the return. I just sort them right there, throw them in the garbage can before I even walk in the house.
I do the same thing.
People do that at the post office.
No.
They got a big pan there.
Publishers Clearing.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times we go round and round in this in my house.
Well, apparently the law has caught up with these morons because they are now publishing sweepstake facts.
Yep, that about a year now they've been doing that. But if you've read it, go ahead and tell them exactly what it is.
So, folks, if first prize is $1 million,
Yep.
do you know what the odds are of y'all winning that?
In the billions.
3,478,000,000 to 1.
Do you know that's the entire population of North America, Central America, and South America, and Western Europe all put together?
But you know what they say? Someone's gonna win.
No, they don't, though.
They don't. That number is not picked.
Yep. They'll say that the new drawing is going to be June 30th. June 30th will come and go by. You don't hear anybody winning the thing.
Oh,
Nobody's ever. That place would go broke so fast if somebody started hitting that.
Now you say you go round and round in your house about that.
She says, I'm going to mail it. I said, you're wasting, I don't know, what is it, 47-cent stamp?
51 now.
Or whatever it is. I said, it's foolish. Just throw the damn thing away. You can't get anything off this. Look at it. Go down even further, Bill, where they actually give it away. There's one for $1,000 or something on there. See what the odds are on that one.
Well, the they've got
or $250.
well, they don't have them in this one, but up to price value up to $2 million. Odds of winning 2,400,000 to 1. However, there's this one here, a lump sum, $10,000 a month for life,
Yeah, that,
plus a brand new Lincoln, or $36,095. The odds for that one, that's also 1,300,000,000 and it's, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. It is 1 in 3,478,000,000. It's the same as the $1 million price.
do you realize if you spend 50 cents on a stamp to mail it in, you've got to have a return of $1.5 billion just to have even odds?
Unbelievable. And real prizes, real winners.
Well, you know how they get away with that.
Yeah.
There is a couple of prizes for $50, $100, and $200. That's what they give away. Even then,
this
there's
is
thousands and thousands against hitting that thing.
This is good. Real prizes, real winners, real stories. See for yourself. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing about the winners.
No.
And even if you do win, the gift tax and the tax on it is quite high.
Oh, sure. So it just goes on and on. Believe me, it's true. It does happen. These are probably the only 3 winners I've had since the year 1.
I did try playing the game once, and it took 4 mailings. I had to
They go on and on and on.
Yeah, you fill it out and they say the next one, and then they say the next one, and then they say the next one. And after 4 back and forth, I said,
They used to make
this
you
is
dig through
ridiculous.
the whole mailing, looking for this sticker, then looking for this number,
Oh,
and this sticker, remember
yeah.
that?
It drives-
Absolutely unbelievable.
But actually, you know, what they're doing there, in a sense, is they're doing marketing research because they find, what are the most popular magazines.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. That's all they're doing. I mean, if they accidentally give some money away, oh, well, the insurance company loses because they're insured. It's all a gamble. I got one more thing before I turn it over to you, young man.
Okay.
The city of Newton, Mass. is called the Garden City. Now, do you know what they have done? They have outlawed leaf blowers.
Well,
It's
I should hope so.
it's too loud.
That's right.
It's ruining their quality of life. So from Memorial Day to Labor Day, no gas leaf blowers allowed. And there's estimates from landscapers, it's going to say, well, it's going to triple your costs
Yep.
because we're going to have to rake this stuff up by hand, or we'll just leave it there. And your lawn will look like hell and blah, blah, blah. But these people have been trying for years to do this. And now they have finally done it. I think what they are thinking is this will force the manufacturers to design an electric leaf blower that can actually blow leaves.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want.
Or some sort of muffler on the leaf blower so it doesn't make the noise.
Yeah, but of course that would restrict the airflow coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that would, and they also lowered the decibel level too from 77 to 65. What do they hope to gain here? It's unbelievable. But it's a group of people that kept going back to the city council
Yep.
for years, 10 years, 12 years, whatever it is, they finally got the council to vote 20-4 to ban these things, probably to stop these people from coming.
It's all a matter, comes down to a matter of control.
Yeah.
You got a small group of people that said, I am so important that I should be able to control your life with various stages. We've got this in this town. We've got these certain people that want to exert their influence on everything.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, and you know, I swear, I'm not sure with the legislature whether it is the power they wield or the money they make and they're investing in a pension. I'm not sure whether it's the money
good point.
or the power.
Yeah.
But it's those two things.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that. There's no other reason. I mean, this business, well, I'd like to do it because I want to give back. I mean, give me a break.
That's right.
Give back. Well, anyway. All right. Well, I'm not going to let you talk. I'm going to just have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
This one infuriates me. Bill aims to stop texting and driving. Guess what the legislature is going to do?
I'll put $1 fine on it.
Oh, no.
50 cents?
No. Oh, no. The legislature, remember, we don't want to hurt voters.
That's right.
So we are going to ask the cell phone manufacturers to design an app whereby the texting part of the cell phone cannot be used while the car is in motion. And then the politicians will say, see, we're not stomping on your liberties. It's those people that have done this. Mm-hmm. Well, as those people have pointed out, what's the difference? It's not going to work on a Greyhound bus. It's not going to work in a taxi cab. It's not going to work on a school bus. So you're shutting down all those avenues too.
Yeah.
This business about motion. So instead of these people, well, let me back up and talk about something I know a little something about here, and that's the country of Sweden. Now, the Swedes are an interesting people. They are very principled. They decided that they were going to stop drunken driving.
Yep. I remember that.
There is no drunken driving problem in Sweden any longer.
Well,
They lowered the alcohol in your system down to, it was 0.03. I think it's lower than that now. I think it's a trace.
yeah, it's a beer, a small glass of wine.
Yeah,
comes down
that's
to.
it. And they are saying to the people, look at the penalties. Would you like to do 45 days in jail? Would you like to be fined $750 for the first offense, $6,000 for the second offense, or whatever it happens to be these days? The fines are very, very stiff. And you only get it twice. After that, no more driver's license ever.
For life.
Yeah. Now, you mean to tell me we can't stop texting and driving?
My point has always been that.
Yes.
If you want to cure an ill, make the consequence high enough that you get somebody's attention.
Very simple. $300 first offense.
Why not $1,000?
$1,000 the second offense, and you lose your driver's license for a year.
And maybe get the third offense, you lose your car.
That's it.
Boom.
Well, that's it. That's exactly it. Yep. And you know what? If you can't stop texting and driving, we're going to take the car away from you.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll sell it at the auction. You can buy it back.
I've often said this hacking with the computers. They were kids doing it first, but now it's gotten into this
Very
want to cry
sophisticated
thing and all that
business,
thing with holding your computer for ransom. I said, they're causing millions and sometimes billions of dollars worth of damage doing it. They get caught, they make them promise they won't do it again.
Yeah.
I said, if you get caught hacking, maybe 10 years in jail, $100,000 fine, $200,000 fine, make it so stiff.
That's right.
And here's the best part. If you turn somebody in that you know that he's been hacking, drop a dime on him, you get the money that he has to pay for the fine. It don't cost the state anything.
Do you know that that's not a bad idea? That is not a bad idea.
You want to find
at all.
out who's doing what, offer a big enough fine.
Sure.
They'd throw their own mother under the bus at some point.
And this texting and driving business, I see it all the
Yep.
time. It's not going away. And they're not enforcing the distracted driving law that they passed. If anyone has ever written up for that, I never see it.
Very rarely, if anything.
Yeah. But this is just absolutely, and I forgot to, if you're on the train and the Apple shut the thing down too. So a lot of people spend a lot of time on the train, I notice. Blah, blah, blah.
Constant.
But I don't mind. The text, all right, that's quiet on the train. But I don't want to hear about you taking your dog for a shampoo next week. God almighty.
We were sitting in a theater
Okay, Dwayne, what have you got?
not long ago, and these two guys texting, or not texting, talking on his phone behind them. And they're like, where are you going to go for dinner afterwards? What do you want to do tonight? It's a damn movie. Shut up. You got no right to do that in a theater like that, but most people don't care. All right, let's go on to something else. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The article was criminalizing Haitian refugees. They had a refugee status because of the problems they had there.
Yeah.
Hurricane.
Yep.
And the earthquake.
Earthquake.
They just, if
get hit.
there's a national disaster, it happens in Haiti.
But the problem here is that, again, we're brain draining the place because it's sad, but if you look at who the refugees are, for the most part, they're not the poor guy that lived in the little house that got shaken and fell down. They're the elite, the one with the money. Because as soon as that thing happened, who's got the money to leave?
Nobody.
Yeah, the professional people. They said, we can get the hell out of here right now because the United States is going to give us status, immigration status. So we'll buy a plane ticket and go. It's not the poor guy that's living day to day.
This is such a conundrum because there's a much better solution. Rather than take these people, send them aid.
That's right.
Send them food, send them money, send them construction equipment. Christine, can you guess why that's a bad idea?
Well, one reason is the stuff doesn't get to the people. It gets confiscated by the people on the top.
And they sell it on the black market to Romania or Bulgaria or someplace.
There was even a group of physicians lobbying to extend this because there were so many physicians came over in that.
Yeah.
That's the last people we should be giving refuge status to.
The poor people over there don't have access to medical
they need
care
them a hell of a
because
lot more
they've come
than we do.
over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a bad situation.
Yep.
And I've talked to Haitians. I worked with some on the guard detail. When I retired, was a security guard for a little while. And they will tell you, please send the Marines back in again and take our country over. We never had it so good. It was when the Americans took over, fed us, built schools, and educated us.
But we can't take over the world.
No, we can't. But you know what? that country is the poorest country
It is.
in the Western Hemisphere.
Yep.
And it just seems to me that they're crying for help. And I don't know why we couldn't say to Canada and Mexico and Argentina and Colombia, listen, work with us. We've got to put these people back on their feet. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. But
It's valid. There's no question about it. We go about it totally wrong.
So what's the point of criminalizing the Haitians? What's the connection there?
That's the Globe's headlines. Who knows? I don't know where they were going. I didn't go with that headline.
well, they're talking about ICE.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's true. They hate ICE.
Yeah, and when ICE starts raking up people, the
Haitians have fallen victim to the Trump
yeah.
administration's relentless efforts to criminalize immigrants and refugees left and right. You know, that's all that. That's what that headline is for.
Listen, this is so crazy because the Trump administration wants to deal with the criminal element among the illegal immigrants. You know, I mean, it's just madness.
It's madness. It is. Another one I got that has always bothered me is that history is history.
That's profound.
Stop trying to rewrite history because you don't like what you see or you don't like what the outcome was. For years, it's always, victory goes, the spoils goes to the victor. Well, also the victor gets to rewrite the history or the history of the event. And that's always been. But it doesn't change anything. Now this mania of tearing down statues all of a sudden, and as if Robert E. Lee never existed.
Yeah.
As if the president of the Confederacy never existed. Well, this guy never existed. That's part of history. It is what it is. You don't have to.
It is what it is.
Just leave it alone. You make your own decisions. But to go back and rechange history, that's what Russia or the Soviet Union used to do. When it come, they'd go back through books and they would take pictures of people out and totally annihilate.
Well, this is what ISIS is doing too, is destroying history of the Middle East because, those people were bad. Well, I mean, are we going to ostracize the memory of Andrew Jackson because he was a slaveholder and he was a tough dude? Let's just rip down the step. And by the way, Jackson, Mississippi, change the name of your city. I mean, this is what the PC crowd wants to do. We need to take a Brillo pad to the U.S. and scrub
everything
off
out.
all those bad guys.
Yeah, now at a certain point, even the losers are starting to rewrite history. Japan is now trying to clean up their reputations from World War II. Oh, we didn't. Those comfort girls, they were not what you think they were.
No.
Well, we were justified in doing what we did. We were justified the imperialistic activities around the world. You got the Holocaust deniers. All of a sudden, they want to change history.
Yeah, the Japanese, there is a sector of the Japanese that will tell you, you people in the U.S., your imperialistic programs, your bent, if you will, caused us to strike out at you.
Yeah.
Well, we had no choice. You boxed us into a corner when you shut off the oil supply and you shut off the scrap iron and stuff like that to us. So what were we supposed to do? Move into Indonesia and get an oil supply. We had to do it. Well, it's all predicated too on really our reaction to their invasion of China in 1937 and what they did, the atrocities in Nanking.
Rape of Nanking.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things. One is a lot of records that were classified in the past are now becoming unclassified.
Well, of course,
so that
there's
changes
a time
the
element
history.
on them.
And the other thing, there's more of a danger of it happening now when everything is digitalized because it's much easier to change it digitally than to have if it's in print.
Good point. Good point. And it is easier. And as we age, and as Holocaust survivors pass away, and World War II veterans pass away, when we have the new intellectuals changing what happened during World War II, who is left to rebut them?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, I guess you're right. To who the victors belong the spoils, you know. But we have to be very careful the way we rewrite history, if that's what we're doing, you know. It's going to come back and bite us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've told this story before. Folks, if you heard this one, this is a good time to go to the bathroom. I was teaching CCD, and I happened to mention to the kids, and they were great, 9th graders, smart. I said, you know, well, of course, what's happening is not like the Holocaust and blah, blah, blah. Mr. Crane, what's the Holocaust?
Yeah.
And so I said, what? They said, what's the Holocaust? So I stopped the lesson plan. I said, okay, we're going to talk about the Holocaust for the rest of the class. I talked to them long, like for an hour, about this. They were amazed. 2 of the girls came up to me afterwards, said, Mr. Crane, why don't they teach that in school? I said, now that's a good question. Why don't they, Chris?
I have a girlfriend who's Armenian, and she's always very upset that the Turkish country does not admit that they created genocide.
Right. Yeah. Or, you know, as though, well, genocide is happening right before our eyes in the Middle East with the Kurds. I mean, the Turks, the Iranians, the Iraqis are all at war with the Kurds because Kurds want Kurdistan. They want their own country.
yeah.
And you know what? If it was a piece of bloody sand, there wouldn't be a problem. But there's oil under Kurdistan, and they are not going to give that to the Kurds.
Oh, no. They don't have they're not a strong, powerful group.
It's much easier to kill them. Yeah. And you know, well, I'm not talk. I got something to talk about that later on. So, but anywho, let's have another outrage. Snowflakes. Oh boy.
What the hell's happening to our higher education today? Young people are supposed to go to college to learn how to think, entertain new ideas. It's just the opposite right now with some of these universities. If they present an idea that's contrary to what they think or what they want, they fold. The snowflake melts melts a little heat, they melt. Here, there's one from this week. Go back to my old reading glasses.
You look very scholarly with those on.
That's why I got them.
Yeah.
I just bought them literally, I got them at BJ's. $3.95.
Ever the bargain hunter.
Here are words like expressions. Hey guys, man up. Can't say that.
Oh dear.
You can't use the word crazy. The college courses that require something of reading, there has to be a warning, a trigger. If they're going to, this chapter is going to contain something on feminism, anti-feminism, or what they would continue. It has to have a warning in front of the chapter. So the students that will be offended by it, they can skip over that chapter and not have to read that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the kind of crap that we're coming to.
Yeah.
This is something that mommy and daddy are paying
Do you know?
anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year for.
Do you know that you're right college should be where you learn how to think,
Yeah.
examine new ideas, listen to what wise people have said in the past. But now, college is just like a bird's nest with about 6 little birds in it with their mouths wide open, and the professor, the mother, sticks a piece of a worm in every one of their mouths. The mother doesn't ask for them to, well, how did you enjoy the worm? Would you like something different? Shut up and eat the worm. And that's what it is now, liberal thought. I'm going to jam this down your throat.
A faculty training guide, of course, the University of California, is warning potential instructors and professors, don't ever say America is the land of opportunity, because it could upset one of these snowflakes that don't think they have the opportunity.
Wow.
It's just craziness, you know. Fortunately, it hasn't crept too much into the sciences yet, but it will somehow.
Oh, of course it will.
They consider that trigger warning should be considered basic courtesy for the sensitivity of the students.
Oh, the poor dears. We must think about that. I'm going to find a college student this afternoon, and this is over, and be sensitive to him or her.
That's
See
right.
how that works.
I like that somebody's made a statement, and if you're truly offended, I'll help you pack. Because if you're so sensitive that, that's too bad. You shouldn't have to be tortured like that.
They should find another spot to live.
Yep. Find some place that protects them from all the outside influences. What are these guys going to do? Oh, I said guys. There we go. I mean, what are these students going to do? This is the last training session before they go out into the world. If they can't handle the class because there might be some statement in it, some idea that they can, what are they going to do if they get a job, when they get a job, and the boss comes in and lays something on them?
Well,
are they going to fold?
But the problem is, if you do say insensitive things, you lose your job teaching.
Of course you do. That's why they've turned into mush too.
Well, look at Little League Baseball and what that's become. Or Little League Soccer, where they don't keep score.
Don't keep any score.
Well, the kids that are on the team that loses, we don't want them to feel bad. Give me a break.
Or everybody gets a reward.
Yeah, precipitate.
Everybody at the end of the season gets a trophy. There are no losers in this league.
But the kids
It's
aren't that.
all winners.
The kids aren't that stupid.
No, they know well who.
And they probably know better than we do.
Oh yeah.
But this. Well, anyway, now you've got me mad. Got something else to get me mad at?
I don't want to get you crawling across the table there.
Wow.
When I saw this in, I believe it was Cambridge, Globe had a nice article. It was so homey about these restaurants with the coal-fired ovens and the wood-baked ovens and stuff. I said, this ain't gonna last long. Sure enough, 3 days later, the neighbors are suing some of these already because they put out smoke.
Yeah, they ought to be able to put pollution control devices on those things.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
Oh, man.
And it was Cambridge, of course.
I have a couple of articles here that are so stupid. A Stoneham dog walker faces charges of ripping off the clients. Now, this lady hired a dog walker and gave her the keys to her house. so she could get in there and get little Bozo out and take him for a walk.
Yeah, okay.
And she's now noticed about $10,000 worth of clothing and jewelry is missing. Now, you're going to be shocked. You won't, Chris, because you're sharp, but you're going to be shocked.
Probably. Maybe the dog did it.
Well, they have arrested Andrea Shabby, 38, of Walkabout Animal Care Services. And guess what they discovered? There are drugs involved.
Oh, shocker.
Would you believe that? They went and searched her house, and they said they found fentanyl on her after she was arrested. Everybody packs fentanyl, don't they?
Of
Oh, yeah.
course.
Especially dog walkers. Can you imagine? Well, can you imagine just giving the keys
Yeah.
to some bozo that you found her ad in one of the supermarket giveaway newspapers, or posted, better yet,
Posted, yeah.
posted on a bulletin board at Market Basket. I will walk your dog. I love dogs. Call me, Billy. Yeah, that's it. Man. Oh, yeah. So, it's one other thing that really, if I have a, no, I go nuts over this. But anyway, I find it hard to express myself on this subject. Marty Walsh is got to be the biggest hammerhead. And he's a mayor of Boston. But he had a little press conference here. They are going to stop street crime this summer. They're going to have gang units in the neighborhoods. They had them in the neighborhoods last year and the year before that.
Yeah.
But Marty thinks that people have just incredibly short memories, which they do, especially when it comes to listening to politicians. We will stay focused on the hotspot areas as well as on the individuals who are driving the violence, which has always been our strategy. Jesus worked so well too, you know. But, and Walsh says, we have too many guns in urban America. Access to guns is too easy for our young people. Well, they ought to really look at New York City. And now, New York City had a crime problem. So what did they institute?
Stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. Okay?
Most effective anti-crime thing
That's
they'll ever put in.
exactly right. And crime dropped off the table. Times Square became safe to walk around again. But not here in Massachusetts. Well, you see, Bill, it's like this. Too many minorities being stopped and frisked.
We had
But they're the ones that are carrying.
We had that situation here about 4 or 5 years ago when Reverend Rivers and those that group
Yeah, the
activist
10
group,
ministers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they demanded that the city do something. The crime rate, all their young men are getting killed. They're shooting each other, et cetera, et cetera. So they instituted a type of stop and frisk before the term was come up. What's the next thing? Well, you can't do that. You're stopping our young men and looking and searching them.
That's right.
Well, what do you want?
Yeah. You don't have any right to stop these young men.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you stop him for?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he had a bulge in his
That's right.
pants.
One of them had a sawed-off shotgun sticking out
Yeah,
below his
yeah.
jacket, and they questioned he was just stopped because he was black.
That's right, yeah. So you just can't win.
No, you
but
can't.
for Marty to blow this kind of stuff out, this hot air out, is ridiculous.
Marty, if the wind is blowing to the east, Marty goes to the east. If it's blowing to the west, he sways to the west.
Yep.
He's the ultimate politician.
Until the neighborhoods
Yep.
demand these kids be disarmed.
That's right.
All right? This is never going to be solved. Never. They're going to continue to walk around with guns. In fact,
So all that legislation that they passed on doing gun
The was it
research for
Hartley
people
Fox?
who are applying for a gun, it's not working because the kids have the guns. Is that what you're saying?
and the kids steal the guns.
Oh yeah, I know they
Yeah,
do.
or buy them off the street. Look at this. In one, I think it was one weekend, look what they took off kids.
Oh, yeah. Don't surprise.
Automatic weapons.
Yep.
Oh,
Machine pistol type things.
yeah.
Uzis type
I mean, the one in the middle is a 9mm Tech 9.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You've got a 45 caliber Ruger handgun. That'll put a hole in your chest the size of an orange.
Go through a motor
Yeah.
block.
A little 32 caliber revolver. That's a joke, that one. And a 40 caliber Taurus automatic. These are lethal weapons.
So the licensing of gun owners is not working.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah,
It
for
is.
gun owners.
Because gun owners do not commit crimes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why do you always put all these restrictions on the people who are responsible
That's what
gun
we're saying,
owners,
Right.
and they're making them tougher and tougher, and it's not making a bit of difference?
That's exactly right. And you're exactly right. And this is what I go out of my mind over. I'm responsible. Dwayne is responsible. NRA members are responsible. They are not out there on the streets carrying these weapons and doing crime. These weapons are being stolen or bought on the black market from disreputable gun dealers. That's who they should be cracking down on. And the teens get them. Now they got them. You've got to go to the teens and take them away from the teens. They got no right to have them. I don't believe they stopped a teenager that had a valid gun permit, probably since 1942. But look at the weapons they carry.
It's all heavy duty stuff today. There's no
Yeah.
little 25s or 22s can be carried anymore.
This-
Even 38s are a rarity.
This 32 long barrel
Yeah.
revolver, I mean, you could do more damage by throwing it and hitting somebody with it, really.
And what place was this? What location?
This took
Was it in
place.
Boston?
Yeah, Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they, Walnut Avenue in Roxbury. Somerville boy was caught in South Boston with one of them, and the others were in Dorchester, in the city.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I can tell you this firsthand. There was a gun dealer in Walpole that was elderly, and he worked out of his house, and he was phasing down, but he had a pretty good supply of weapons. So Comcast, no, I shouldn't say that, a cable company
Shall remain.
came to service his house. And two people came in and they brought a bag with them and they started working on stuff. He had a customer call on the telephone. So he went and answered the phone and they said, "You're all set, Mr. Smith. Your TV is perfect." Next day, Mr. Smith counted his guns and he had lost either 7 or 9. I forget how the story went. He called a friend of mine and said, "That's it." He said, "I am out of the gun business." He said, you want to come up to my house? I know that you were looking at a couple of guns of mine. I'll sell them to you for any price that you offer me. And if you got some friends, send them. And I will, as long as I get a license, I'll sell them for anything they offer me. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, this is the best part. So, did you call the company and tell them what happened? Did you call the police and tell them what happened? He's afraid of them. Oh. Afraid they'll come back.
Yep.
He said, I just want to be done with it. So I'm sure those things were on the street about a week later, all of them. And those guys made themselves 7 guns. They probably made $5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make almost $1,000 a piece on them.
And that's how some of this stuff happens, you know? One other thing here that I would like to rave about. We don't learn history. We don't. It just
it has to repeat itself.
Yeah. But the Israelis had Palestinian terrorists and still do. The Irish had the IRA. France has had Libyan terrorists and other North African sorts. The Spain has dealt with the Basques for time immemorial.
Yep.
Iran, Iraq, and Turkey, the Kurds. Russia, the Chechens. And they got some other Muslims too in some of the breakaways. France, Germany, England, Sweden, Belgium, Greece, and others have had Muslim terrorists. And we've experienced terror here on our shores. But more is coming. And we just seem oblivious to it. You know, it's like the music is still playing, so we're going to continue dancing. Instead of demanding that our border security been increased, the wall be built, we need to vet everybody that comes into this country.
That's right.
No undocumented people coming in. We have lists of people wanting to come into this country legally. They should be the ones that are allowed to come in first. And they're doing it the right way.
Yep.
But we just don't seem to understand. A nation with a law of laws means also a nation with borders. Because without borders, we can't have our laws. And I'm reminded when I witnessed the naivete in this country about of course, part of this too is the opposition party, who shall remain unnamed, is much more interested in trying to damage Trump than they are American security. I'm convinced of that. But I'm reminded of the people in this country of Neville Chamberlain in England, who went to Munich and got Adolf Hitler's signature on a piece of paper.
Non-aggressive pact.
And came back, landed, got out, and said, "We have peace in our time."
Yeah, we discussed, you know what that reminded me of? Obama's deal with Iran.
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
Of course. And then when Winston Churchill and others attacked Chamberlain for being hopelessly naive, Chamberlain replied, Czechoslovakia, that little country so far away that we know so little about, is not worth starting a war or getting involved.
That's right. It's
that little country so far away we know so little about. And up here in New England, down on the Texas and Arizona border, that land down there so far away, we don't understand what the problem is about all of these people coming across the border. If they were coming in and camping in Cape Cod,
Whoa.
or,
Oh, man.
or in Weston, or Lexington, or
Dover,
Concord,
anything, yep.
there'd be hell to pay. But no, as long as it's down there.
Bill, I know you like the show tonight too. Is that Live PD?
Yep.
And it's going to be live again this coming weekend. One of the areas they come from is Mission, Texas.
Mission, Texas.
Right on the border.
Yep.
Watch what's the problem there.
They have it every week.
Every week.
Yep. It's as though we just have our heads in the sand.
Yep.
What wall? We don't need a wall. Well, damn it all, we've got to.
We don't understand anything.
Well, folks, guess what? Another episode is going to go in the books here as we wind it down again. All right, okay. Listen, I know you're upset. I know you're crying. I know you're saying, more, Bill, give us more. Go to the cupboard, get the Jack Daniels out. Pour yourself about 4 fingers and do that every couple of hours. And pretty soon it'll be 2 weeks
That's
and
right.
we'll be back. And you won't feel the pain.
You might have a hangover.
Well, now that's another story.
All right.
So you pour 4 fingers when you get up, the hangover goes. Do you know, did you ever do that?
What? Have a hangover?
The next morning?
Oh, the hair
Knock
of the
down?
dog?
Yeah,
Oh, I think I have.
yeah. It works.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. More good stuff from the report. All right, listen, have a great couple of weeks. Who knows, maybe the rain will stop someday and we'll see the sun.
That's right.
And we'll check it out in 2 weeks.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.